Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and I've got Millennium French organ up beside Philip Glass's Mad Rush. I did a review of the French organ last week, and of course, I love playing Glass's music. One of you said, listen, Mad Rush, it was originally written for organ. Of course it was. Brilliant. Yes, this would be a great opportunity to try it. I saw Glass play this on a transistor organ some years ago, and I'm going to be trying to play it on my weighted controller. I wish I had an unweighted controller handy, but we'll just see how it all goes. I love this organ. I love this piece. Well, listen, if you're getting something out of this channel, now's a great time to subscribe. I know that the shorts are really useful for a lot of folks, and these deeper dives into music theory and composers who might interest us, who might be supportive of your own musical quest, can be very, very useful. Mad Rush. It's a pretty old piece, and, it has echoes of the music from the hours. We'll actually discover that as we play through it. It starts off with this beautiful, what I call the Philip Glass oscillation, where you're sitting on a triad, and that triad just kind of wiggles a bit. Listen, I'm going to make the organ view go away, and we'll just look at this in a synthesia. Since I'm playing this live, I think it's a good way to track things. That's just an F triad, nothing to it. And then he wants us to drop down to a low C, and this is an A minor triad with a low C in the bass. Well, it's terrific. And of course, if I was playing this on organ, I'd probably play that low note with my foot, pedals. In fact, this is why it's called a pedal tone. In the next line, that's this stuff here, we've got a 3/2 rhythm. Now, I learned to play 3/2 by counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and having the right hand slapping on my leg, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and my left hand slapping on my left leg on the 1 and on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and. The right hand has only 2 notes, but it's a triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And of course, we've seen that from Glass a lot. It's in the beautiful piano introduction opening to Glassworks. Well, here we go. It's the same 2 chords. It's the F chord and then the A minor chord. In the third line here at measure 9, you can see that the F chord gets embellished. You can think of it as kind of F add 2 to F, and the right hand echoes it as well. It's just gorgeous the way it sounds. And again, I would play those bottom notes with my foot if I was playing this on a pipe organ. It's such a pretty sound. You can probably hear my weighted controller clattering away. I apologize for that. Listen, in measure 13, everything goes up to a G minor triad and then sinks back down again to the F. So it's just kind of like a, hey, relax, kids, all diatonic triads. Each of these lines has a repeat, and Glass is big on repeats. When you get to the end of this piece in 6 pages, he says, da capo, back to the beginning, play again, play all the repeats. Mozart was also a big repeat guy. Well, listen, we get that same thing again at 17. There's our G minor chord and a little moving bass line. And back again. Well, that's terrific. Measure 21 settles us down before the piece earns its name, Mad Rush. Look at those 16th notes, as my teacher used to say, a very black page. So at measure 21, we just sit there. And then a low A this time against. What makes all of this tick? It looks like somebody's had a headache and just kind of vomited out their emotions onto the page. But this is just an F major 7 chord, a little figured F major 7 chord, 3rd, 5th, major 7th, 1. And then the left hand just down the F chord and back up. And rhythmically, we're going to have to think of this as each group of 3 up and group of 3 down as being kind of one beat. So we want to think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. At measure 27, it's kind of the same shape. The top note goes to A, and in the left hand, the outside voices, the F, here turns into an E, and now I have an inverted A minor chord. So this beautiful sound, F, turns into A minor. It's nice. I have an E and an A as opposed to an F and an F. That A, that F has a real spanner thrown in it right here. This measure is 28/16 instead of 24/16. And honestly, I actually think it sounds, when you're listening to it, very much like the previous measures, except as you can see on the top 2 notes, ping, ping, A, are repeated here and here. And as a result, we've got 4 more 16th notes than we had earlier. On the page, it's grouped not in 3s, but in 2s. So as you perform it, you've got to make the adjustment between the 3s, right? Like here, there's definitely a 3 going up. And then this is kind of a little 2 world. And then this is a group of 3 going down. So what I'm thinking as I perform this is up, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? I'm grouping things that way. So here's the simple group of 3s starting at measure 27. And here it gets complicated. Right? A little bit faster. It's that little wiggle on the top that makes it interesting, that little hiccup, if you will. And it's, I think, just part of the genius of these really fast arpeggios. Well, planning and performing something like this is a challenge for us because we've got to think ahead, don't we? You've got to really know what's coming next. Like, you can't sight read this at speed. You really have to know that here at measure 37, for instance, suddenly we get to play G minor 7. Yay. So relaxing and beautiful, and then back to our F. And then a figured version of it. Right? You can't just do that randomly. You have to sort of know it's coming. And then here at the top of this page, here's that thing from the hours. Here's that right here at measure 41. G minor 7 turns into G minor 7 flat 5, which resolves to F. And there's something just very familiar about that, right? It's the minor 4 chord. It's the Christmas chord. That is so much fun to do. Well, at 45, we're back to C. And then the end of the piece kind of gives us a slightly easier version of something which we've been doing already. Now we've got triplets up and down against eighth notes this time. So each of these eighth notes is going to be divided in 3. So it's kind of the same texture, except the left hand isn't quite so busy. And because it isn't busy, it's perhaps a little bit easier to hear. Nora Ephron says story is about structure. And this piece is structured, and you can see now we're back to that high density, mad rush energy. And really no new chords, essentially all diatonic chords with the exception of that G minor 7 flat 5 sound, the 2 half diminished chord. This piece is structured brilliantly. It's a surprise at the end to have these long sustained tones on the top. This word coda means tail in Italian, and it's just an ending, right? And so this A right here at measure 93 against the oscillation. It's so, kind of, it's sort of peaceful. And here we get to have the G minor with a flat 5 and the regular 5. I love this moment. It's intense. So we've been up here. Right? There's something about that that's so brave. And then a very low A at the end. Well, gee, I hope this has been useful. I think what my takeaway from this piece is practice so you really know what you're doing as you're playing a piece like this. And if you're not going to try to perform this piece, because it does require, I think, fairly substantial, keyboard skills to play it quickly. And I fumbled my way through this and appreciate your patience with it. You can use the ideas in your own work. Here's the biggest idea, this terrific pattern where one measure of sort of 24/16, which just basically feels like 4 to us in fast triplets, is then embellished by adding a couple of little hiccups. Those little hiccups, the 28/16 measure, make this. It's what makes it feel like you're running and stumbling and that there's effort and that there's energy in there. And that's the genius of a figured arpeggio. It's one of the things that I just really admire about Glass's sort of work. There's attention to detail at a level that makes it more expressive and just more powerful as a piece of music. Well, listen, I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe, ding the bell. You'll be notified when I do my videos. I'll see you next time.